You're asking me, do you practice semen retention? What do you think about that? I would say it's one big a scam. I would say it's another dead end that you will take. Then at the end, you will realize, well, this was a dead end. I gotta go back. But us humans, we love that. We love dead ends. We love wrong paths. We love going on certain adventures in life that it doesn't really matter at all. It doesn't mean anything. You just do it for the sake of doing it, just because others did it and they had some perhaps insight about it. They could convince you that it's good for you. Yeah, you can do that, but naturally, there is no semen retention happens in your organic body. Semen retention is just something that prevents your natural state of being. Again, like any other force, will only disappoint you. But it's okay, you can practice it, you will definitely gather insight about it. But at the end, it's not gonna do much for you. At the end, what really needs to be done is to be mindful about your sexual energy, to be mindful about your sexuality, to be mindful about what's happening to you as a human being and why this is happening to you. Is it some sort of programming or is some sort of basic instinct? What is it? And if you dig deep, you will realize that it's a mix. Part of it is your basic instinct, which is very, very delicate, very nice, very gentle, very kind to you existentially, comes to you and says, look, I want you to reproduce. I want you to be able to leave your genes behind. Therefore, I have to also give you one of the best and biggest rewards of biggest, the highest, most reward that is possible, that orgasmic experience. So I will give you that if you promise me that you reproduce. If you promise me that you don't just voluntarily choose to die. Because if I don't give you this orgasm, if I don't give you this energy, you might cease from existence. Because why would you want to participate in the act of sex if there is no reward for it? Therefore, I will just give you the highest reward possible. And that makes you crazy sometimes. It makes you do something very crazy, something that you don't like to do. Because you gotta survive, you gotta fight for it, you gotta find a mate, you gotta do all it takes to be able to reproduce. Therefore, even if you kill another man to reproduce, it's justified. Now, this part of basic instinct gave its place to very subtle and delicate way of living. Because you wouldn't kill another person for necessarily reproduction these days anymore, because cognitively we evolved to realize that, well, human beings are much more complex than other primates. So there is not necessarily a big drive to do whatever it takes to reproduce. But then I told you it's a mix of both things, right? But then you live in a world that it banks on sex, banks on sexuality. Everything is capitalized based on this sexual energy. Everything is capitalized based on what men are willing to pay. That's just how it is. And even when it comes to females, when it comes to women, all the capitalization happens on the section that the woman has to create some sort of appeal for the male. Beauty industry, fashion industry, all of these industries are just there to feed the men, to capitalize on men. This world never wants to capitalize based on feminine energy. This world always has to capitalize based on the masculine energy because the masculine energy is much easier to program. Masculine energy is simply understood through thousands of years much better because the drive was clear. For a man, the drive was definitely clear. If you want to take control of this man, just simply deprive him from sex or give him so much sex. This is two ways that you can control a man. And that's what the society is doing. The whole world is doing. Controlling the man, brainwashing the man. And at the end, you come up with this semen retention. Now, when you are programmed to do all it takes to become rich, to have more females, then you become perverted. Then you become delusional. Then you think the problem is down there. You don't realize that the problem is up here, not down there. The problem is not what you need to fix. The problem is you just simply need to realize that you are in control. Take back the steering wheel and drive your own sexuality. And the answer is not semen retention. The answer is the opposite. The answer is embracing this energy. The answer is giving yourself time to understand your sexuality. The answer is giving yourself time to understand your perversion, giving yourself time to heal yourself, giving yourself time to get into tantra. Tantra is the way of transcending sexual energy towards something higher. Now, you want to do semen retention? Go do it. But you only get crazier. That's just how it is. What? What's going to happen? Semen retention simply biologically, yes, it will be what it's going to do. But what do you want to do? Are you going to biologically try to make you crazier? Do not keep this tension and what? At some point, kill a man? Or what? What's the point? You want to go to the gym and become a little bit stronger? I don't know what's your drive. Whatever is your drive, it depends on that. But if you want to do semen retention to become enlightened, that's not gonna work. If that's the case. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe you want to do semen retention to elevate your sex life. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. So I can't tell you what do I think about it. But one thing I know is that the answer To become more aware, to become more meditative is not semen retention. The answer is tantra. The answer is embracing your sexual life.